Hello and welcome to HRL Season 9, round number 5 here. It's week 2. We're going to be racing Cobra Compound SX, the only other time this has been raced. I'm not sure which season. I think it was Season 6, but it was definitely a wild card race. I think I might have nailed it there. Not quite sure though. But anyways, this is another classic track on the schedule. Supercross track that I wish we got to race in the regular season, but here's our opportunity to do that because obviously before is a wild card race, and the wild card races, always get kind of shafted because even if they're a good track, you don't really get to see the full potential of it, I guess, because not everybody's able to race in it. So now hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more out of Cobra, as it being a regular season race, and obviously no one's restricted from showing up to this one. Yeah, so the heat results, top 3, the first heat was Luke, Fireball, and Vulcan, and then top 3 second heat was Slaunch, Detail, and Real Deal. So there's the top 3 from each heat. And let's go through the gate order. So from right to left, it's going to be Luke, Slaunch, Detail, Real Deal, I believe Fireball, Phil, Jared, Hunter, and Vulcan. I think Vulcan's armor is cheese, but that's definitely him. Alright, so the gate is set, ready to drop here in about, I don't know, probably 15 seconds at this point or so. It's going to be, off the top of my head, 17 lap race here, so 17 lap race at Cobra, which means that it's a little bit shorter of a lap time than Beckham, because Beckham was a 16 lap race. And here we go. Green flag. Green flag. Oh my god, that's like 5 wide in the mid-pack right there. So I'm not going to call anything until we get to the end of this first section, because we all know that this is gonna cause some cheese. So to the lead, it's going to be Luke, Slaunch, Detail. That's the top 3 out of the first section. And Vulcan, everybody else cheesed it. Vulcan in 4th as well, close behind Detail. You always gotta wait till they're done with the first section because that's the factor. Oh, that's gonna be, oh, Jared. Oh wow, he got through it clean. What? That's crazy. So we should, similar to Latvia, we should see some good battles on this track for the other positions. So I'm thinking the top 3 will probably be pretty separate. And then I'm thinking 4, 5, maybe 6 will have their own pack. 7, 8, 9 will have their own pack. That's how I'm expecting this to go. So early off, the top 3, same top 3 that we saw in Salt Lake, just different order. 4th though, we have I believe Real Deal, and then 5th Vulcan. So that's what we're looking like right now. Looks like we got Fireball in 6th and Hunter in 7th. Ooh, Jared going down, Phil. Both having issues. And who's this? Detail goes down. Oh, that could be a lot of time lost, and gets conked by Real Deal on the edge of it too, and also a big crash behind them as well. I didn't even see the second one. Oh, different lines being ran here on the first section. Real Deal's gonna conk his. Hunter having issues. Now Detail's already back up to 3rd with a pretty sizable gap. Fireball, oh, that was close. So it's, whoa, Real Deal hitting that rut is going to slide out. That was really unfortunate. Both having to run the least preferred line in the sand. Fireball going to try to work this spot on Real Deal. He's actually going to opt, I think wisely as well, to roll it there. And as you can see, rolling it isn't that much slower. It's definitely slower, but it's not by a ton. Oh, Real Deal conks the edge of that rhythm. And here comes Hunter coming in hot, potentially trying to take away this spot from Fireball. Oh, they're both going for it. Oh, Real Deal's got to be careful. He's almost off the track. This is actually a really hot battle. Oh my god, Fireball. That was a little conky right there. Way too hard on the rollover. Real Deal, Fireball, both casing it. Real Deal casing it really bad. Fireball's going to go down off the edge of that. Tries to get it back on Hunter, but Hunter's going to hold that position. And there's a quick update in the top 3. Alright, back to the battle. Hunter not... Well, actually, yeah, Hunter with a pretty poor run there through the first rhythm. That's going to screw up. Hunter's having a pretty great run up until that point. Yeah, that's really going to hurt his chances. But we have Real Deal and Fireball still going at it for 4th place. And look at the gap that we've already... Look at where the top 3 is, and look at where the rest of the pack is. That is insane. We're like, what, 2 laps in already? And the gap has stretched that far? How many laps are we in? 5? So yeah, I think we're going to be completing 3rd lap right here. And the gap from top 3 to everybody else is already stretched that much. So that's just insane. But that's the theme this season. We're going with the Supercross tracks. We're going mostly with the technical ones. I mean, I think there's definitely a pretty big distinction between technical Supercross tracks and some of the easier ones. But if you look at this schedule, it's definitely got some of the more technical SX tracks throughout HRL history on it. For most of the track types this season, it's like a pretty good mix. You know, you have some less technical RXs, some more technical RXs, some less technical GPs, some more technical GPs. Same thing applies to the ovals, I guess you could say. But then you have the SX category, which is basically like all the technical tracks. And that's gonna... Oh, did Vulcan just... I think Vulcan just jumped over Hunter. But that's one thing I wanted to say, actually. Vulcan's so far not doing as good as I expected. I expected Vulcan... Genuinely, I expected Vulcan to be, like, easily 4th place and potentially battling for podium spot here. Especially after his good performance in Salt Lake. And I think Vulcan did pretty well on this track when we raced it. Whatever the last time we raced it was. Again, I think it was Season 6 wildcard. And so I expected Vulcan to do really well here, but so far, not off to the hottest start, so... Expecting him to bring it back. So far, Luke's in the lead. Slaunch just went down right there, so he's in 2nd. And Detail's in 3rd, and a pretty big gap between all 3 of them, but that is your top 3. And then you have Real Deal in 4th, who currently has a pretty decent gap on Fireball, and Hunter's even kind of working his way back in here. I think this 4th, 5th, 6th battle is going to be pretty good throughout this race. Vulcan, though, I definitely expect Vulcan to get back up in there. He's definitely farther behind than I would have expected. Wow, they just cannot get that section down. Fireball casing that quite often. Now let's see how they run the first rhythm. Let's see if Real Deal clears the first triple. Not sure. I was going to say... Oh, he almost cases the second one. That was actually a pretty decent run. Fireball... A little bit more sloppy, but not terrible. Hunter's was definitely the worst run out of any of them. Did Vulcan have a completely clean run? Vulcan's looked the best, honestly. I mean, I didn't catch the whole thing, but it definitely looked the cleanest. And he gained a ton of time off of it, too. Oh, my God. Rip Hunter. That's the unfortunate part of crap volumes being in that section. If you pop on one of those ruts, you're dead, and there's nothing you can do. And he goes down in the sand as well. So that's unfortunate for Hunter. And that's not the last time that we're going to see a crash like that on that section. That just happens all the time in that sand portion. God. Hunter raging in the chat, of course. And let's go back to a replay because it looked like it was a pretty sizable gap between Detail and Slaunch, but Detail's overtaken Slaunch for 2nd at the end of that lap. So let's see what happened here. First rhythm, I mean, looks pretty clean. There's got to be something here. Yep, makes contact. That's the one thing you always got to look out for. Makes contact with the rut, and because of the grab volume, it takes so long to recover. And yeah, Detail just made up a ton of time off that. Like, the fact that he overtook that position is pretty insane. So that's going to mix things up a little bit for 2nd and 3rd. Now Slaunch needs to work all the way back from 3rd, so not the best start that he was looking for. And Luke's off to a pretty big lead, so if they want to catch up, they definitely need to both put their heads down. And we are going to be at 5 laps completed here at the end of this lap. Let's get an update on... There we go. So Real Deal is still currently holding on to 4th, but Fireball had a really good run behind him there. Definitely gained some time. And I have a feeling that this battle is not over quite yet. Vulcan still holding on to 6th place, but We're gonna have to wait and see if he can actually make some gains to get up here. Battle for the top 5. Again, I would expect a top 5 out of Vulcan easily on this track, so. Oh, Fireball trying to do an interesting move there, like going inwards of the tire, but that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's true, Vulcan. I would definitely recommend watching the VOD of my live race feed. Because of the patented Laras craft, you can hear everybody's audio now, so you can relive all that. Bad run there for Real. This is where it is. What is Fireball gonna do? He might have to run the inside. Ooh, sliding up, but not too bad. Different lines. They both end up casing, but that was pretty even. They both cased, like that was actually really even. So not too much ground gained or lost there. But here's where it's gonna get interesting. The sand. Oh, Real Deal's definitely gonna have to take the outside. Fireball almost spinning around the inside. And Real Deal actually pulls off the outside line, so he holds on to it. But this is still a really good battle, side by side, back and forth. Ooh, that was close. Two-wheel there out of Fireball. Really, oh, I was going to say really nice run, but then he kind of like overjumped it. So far, Real Deal's able to hold on to it. And Detail must have made a mistake now, too. Him and Slaunch in a battle currently for second, so that's still going on. Fireball really making some mistakes there. So he's going to have to work all that time on Real Deal yet again. And there's Vulcan. He could have had some fat gains there, but that mistake might cost him. Slaunch also potentially making a mistake as well, because I think he's back into third there. There's just too much to watch at this point. Oh my god. So the lead is gone. And that's actually Jared there about to be put a lap down potentially. Oh, and Slaunch casing the triple again. So yeah, this is basically a battle for second and third and fourth and fifth is what this race is at this point. Unless, oh my god, more sand action. Unless we witness a Real Deal at Latvia and you know, something crazy just happens to the leader. You know, unless we happen to be racing in Forge here and Roman just comes in with an invisible blocker and just starts placing it in front of the lead. That could mix things up. But now it's gotten stretched out for a little bit. Real Deal's definitely got the advantage for fourth. Fireball's safely in fifth. Vulcan safely in sixth. But at the same time, they all have like pretty even gaps with each other. So I don't think any of them is like too far away. I mean, let's look. So we're at 10. When did we start? So it's 3. Yeah. Okay. So I think there's 10 laps remaining in the race right now, as far as I'm aware. And that's plenty of time. On this track, that is a lot of time. Like, we're not even halfway yet, so still plenty of time here for Vulcan to track down Real Deal or Fireball. Plenty of time for Fireball to track down Real Deal. Hunter's got quite a bit of a ways to go, but, you know, it could happen. But Phil, I would say Phil and Jared are pretty safely in their second last and last positions. So Phil, that was his one thing. I'm going to get a view here while I take a drink of my Goveve. That was a thing that Phil always needed to work on. When he raced previously, he's always pretty decent at GP, pretty decent at Rallycross, pretty decent at ovals, but Supercross is definitely his weakness, and that seems to still be the case here. At the same time, though, I'm sure he didn't practice, and this is a track where if you don't practice, it doesn't matter who you are, you're not going to do well. So we still have Detail in second, Slaunch in third, with I mean, that's not too far of a gap. It's only like 5 goose lengths or so, so we still could see some battling there. We have Real Deal and Fireball. I'm expecting this battle to not be over, but we'll see. And it looks like Fireball did make some gains that lap. I think I saw Jared getting stuck on the berm there. Vulcan, though, is definitely stretched out. Like, look at that. He's definitely made some mistakes these last few laps, and yeah, Vulcan is quite far away from Real Deal and Fireball. Speaking of which, Fireball could have easily overtaken Real Deal there, but they both screwed up. Even still, Fireball's making gains, though. And this is really heated up now. Oh, Real Deal, I don't even think that was on purpose. I think just messed up right there, let off too much on the rollover. Let's see what Fireball tries to do. He's going to run the inside. Oh, he's going to try to cross it. I like the idea. That would have been an insane move. Really risky. But not able to pull it off. that was one of those moves where he could have easily died right there and ruined his chance at going for 4th. So that was a big risk taker move. Different lines. Real Deal, I think, definitely had the better run there through the first rhythm. Neither of them ran it perfect, but like Real Deal ran it pretty good, I would say. Fireball with a strong run through the sand. He definitely gained some time there. Oh, there it is, the big jump. But Real Deal gonna fight back. Oh, and Fireball off the track, re-enters, and he's not even, well, that was kind of conky. He's not even gonna let off. I think he probably should have let off for that Fireball, you snake. But now gonna overtake the 4th place position. Detail's still holding on to 2nd. And, well, Real Deal making a mistake, so. Okay, there we go. There we go. Good. Good boy. Good boy. Crossing over the sperm whale portion of the track. And Hunter's actually... Vulcan's definitely had some rough... Oh, my God. I was going to say, Vulcan's definitely had some rough laps recently because Hunter is catching up to him. I feel like Hunter was like really far away before when we checked on him, and now Hunter, it seems to be reasonable that he could catch up to Vulcan at this point, so Vulcan really needs to get it together here. Again, I think he should be easily in the running for like top 5 here when looking at his previous performance on Cobra, but it's just not looking like it's his day here on this track. Let's get an update here. So right there is lap. Okay, so we basically just hit this, the halfway point. Or no, we're well over it at this point, actually. My bad. 7 laps to go here, and that's Phil that just got put a lap down. So let's see who's upcoming. So Hunter and Vulcan potentially as well, not too far away from getting put a lap down, and that may affect their battle. Oh, Vulcan goes down in the sand, but Hunter goes down as well. Wow, they're both conking. Like, every time Hunter has a chance to catch up, Vulcan cheeses it, and then that chance to catch up is just completely ruined. Detail still so far, not a very good run that time, but still able to hold on to 2nd. I don't know how he's doing it, but she's the first rhythm again. So just plenty of mistakes out of both those drivers, and I think that's the thing for them there. I'm sure on their top speed they could be competing for the lead, but I think that there's definitely a gap in the mistakes being made here between 1st place and 2nd and 3rd, or just in general in this race. Like, everybody's making a ton of mistakes. I think it's more so probably just the magnitude of the mistakes. Every time I see Slaunch make a mistake, it's like a pretty costly one, and Detail will mess up the 1st rhythm here and then, which is always pretty costly if you mess it up really bad. Oh, Hunter's screwing up again. Oh my God. Every time I see potential gains on Vulcan, he messes up, and this could be it. So Hunter, this time by, could be getting put a lap down. And again, like I said, this might potentially ruin his chance of getting up to Vulcan, but if Luke gets by Hunter and then gets up to Vulcan and has to put him a lap down, it should even out. We're only at 6 laps remaining, so on the end of this race here soon, on the final half, final portion. A lot of these drivers basically just trying to survive at this point. That's a lot of what this track is. You're just trying to survive. Because, you know, on this track, like, you can run a fast lap here and there, but the key to this track is definitely to run clean laps. Doesn't really matter if they're the fastest laps, but if you're running clean laps, you're going to be looking good. And here, yeah, Fireball now has opened up a pretty big gap on Real Deal. Look at that. So Real Deal looking pretty strong for 4th place, which would have been huge for him, but now it's looking like he might have to settle for a 5th, which, again, he should have. I mean, look at that gap. That's him right there in 5th. That's Vulcan in 6th. So he, with the coming to 5 laps remaining in this race, yeah, he should have 5th locked up. But there it is. Luke's going to put Hunter a lap down. Hunter's still going to try to catch up to Vulcan, though. It's not going to ruin his fight at all. Oh, what the? Vulcan potentially getting held up by Jared a little bit, though. Vulcan actually putting Jared a lap down. That'll hurt him a little bit. Not too much. So Detail's still holding on to second, able to get the clean run that time. Oh, little caseage, but not too bad. I've noticed that with that inside line, if you case that jump or that landing right there, that it's not too bad, unless you like completely flip. But if you case it normally, it really doesn't ruin your line that much. And obviously, it's usually worth it to go for it, because if you hit it cleanly, then it's a really fast line. But if you case it, it's not that slow, so... Again, as long as you can go for some tactical cases on Supercross tracks. As long as you don't wreck, you're pretty much good to go. Oh, Phil, rip. I think he might, yeah, getting put a lap down there by Fireball. Everything's pretty stretched out at this point. I think the biggest potential for a battle that we have at this point is probably, oh, Vulcan goes down. Oh my god. So right there, Hunter, right behind Vulcan. Maybe like 4 goose lengths or so, maybe even less. So that's probably the biggest potential for a battle now. At the end here, oh, they're both going to case it. And Hunter's going to case it even worse. Gets kind of a better exit though. And yeah, here for 6th, this is probably the best battle on track to end out this race. I think we're at 4 remaining. Hunter gets a clean run. Oh, side by side. Vulcan's definitely going to have the preferred line, and Hunter actually just completely crosses over the rut because he didn't want to take the outside that bad. And Jared's playing a role in this here too, because remember, Jared, Vulcan and Hunter are putting him a lap down. Oh, Vulcan crosses it too hard, and there it is. Hunter, at least for now, has the position over Vulcan. The Britlander battle for 6th. It'll be remembered for the ages. Different lines here. Vulcan's going to opt for the outside, Hunter for the inside, Jared for the I'm going to wreck every portion of the track line. Patented by Jared, trademark. And what lap was that? Okay, so yeah, 3 to go. And this is the battle I'm going to be watching because this is definitely the closest battle on track, so gotta have something to watch for. This actually is a big battle though, because Hunter, in points, in theory, Hunter could be competing in points with Vulcan here, so this is a big battle. Like, Vulcan could definitely be Hunter's closest competitor in points, and, you know, vice versa. Well, actually, that's not necessarily true. I think Vulcan would definitely be a bit higher up and potentially, like, competing with Slaunch still in points, but Hunter, on the other hand, I think would be, like, on his climb up, he would be looking for Vulcan, so... Vulcan trying to hold off any points gains from Hunter. Hunter trying to accelerate the climb. Ooh, Vulcan able to run the outside cleanly that time. That was pretty nice. It's actually this is probably one of the better battles all race so far. Oh, Vulcan digging deep. But Hunter's going to have the cleaner landing. Oh, that could be bad. Vulcan follows Hunter as Hunter makes a mistake, and that's going to cost Vulcan a ton of time. That could be crucial right there. That might be just what Hunter needed to take that spot. And right there, yep, 2 to go. 2 laps remaining here. And as I looked away, Hunter must have made another mistake because Vulcan's already back on his bumper. Both, oh, that's interesting. Both going for the inside. Vulcan, though, ran it kind of poorly. But then Hunter also makes a mistake on the exit of it. These guys, this has been the story of their race. It's just back-to-back mistakes. Oh, my God. They can't hit anything clean. Now let's see what they do here. This is what I'm... Okay, both going to go for the outside. I think Vulcan may change his mind. Yep, okay, good move. So Hunter's going to opt for the outside. Vulcan with a good move to try to make the inside work. Wasn't able to pull it off, but I like the idea. He also gets a nice run here into the triple, but he might case it. Rip. I like the ideas there out of Vulcan. It just didn't really work out. But I think he's not done battling for this position. I think this is going to go down to the end of the race. Especially with how many mistakes Hunter's making. Like, Vulcan will probably catch right back up. Well, look at Vulcan how far he's diving at. He does not care at this point. And yeah, so we're going to be... Let's go on board. We're going to be hitting the white flag right... Wait, did we already hit it? Oh, no, there I am. Alright, so we're going to be hitting the white flag right here. There it is. But I think these guys still got a bit to go. Aw, Real Deal Conkin. Right, is actually that Phil. Oh, okay, it is Phil. Oh, it's going to take a bit of a climb here. Look at that. Vulcan's got a ways to go. It's going to take quite a few Hunter mistakes for him to catch up. Interesting that they both run on the... I think the outside's definitely the preferred line in that section, but both of them running the inside. That's different. So I think because they're a lap down, they may run an extra lap for that battle, so keep our eyes on it. Oh, Hunter with the big mistake! And it's going to give Vulcan a huge advantage. Phil goes down in front of them as well. That could play a role. I'm trying to watch the end of the race and this battle at the same time. Oh, Phil. Okay, Vulcan gets by Phil clean. Oh no, Phil's running into Vulcan a little bit. Oh god. Vulcan's going to run Phil up, and that's going to give Hunter the opportunity to run it side by side. That is so dangerous. And Hunter almost conks it, but he saves it. That could have been way worse. And here we go. We will get back on board with him for a second, but here's the end of the race. For the final lap, Luke's going to take the checkered flag and the win here at Cobra. And second place... And this is their white flag, so this is Vulcan and Hunter's white flag right here. Second place looks like it's going to go to Detail. Can see him clearly right there. And then the third place podium will go to Slaunch right there, clearly over the tabletop as well. And this is going to be a big climb for Hunter. Vulcan's got himself a gap for this final lap. There it is, Slaunch taking the podium, so we'll get an update on the rest of the spots here at the conclusion of the race. Just got to watch the epic conclusion of this Britlander battle for the ages. Oh, Hunter casing. Oh, that's not going to help him. Well, actually, that wasn't terrible. That could have been way worse. That could have been way worse. I'm surprised he didn't completely cheese that section. But yeah, Vulcan definitely with the advantage through the first rhythm, and that's going to be huge, man. Oh, Vulcan. Okay, he runs the outside clean. So far, Vulcan should be able to take this spot easily. He has 100% had the better lap so far. Just as I was going to say it, he goes a little too high off the berm, and he has to roll it as well. He could have just costed all that time that he just worked on gaining on Hunter. He ran the rest of that lap perfect. He's going to opt for the outside here. Hunter going for the inside. Outside's definitely the riskier line. And does it pay off? No, it doesn't. Vulcan goes down. Completely throws away his race there in 2 sections. And I think that's too much of a gap. There's not much of the track remaining. And Hunter's going to do it. He ends up taking the 6th place over Vulcan on the final lap. And Hunter didn't even do anything special there. Like, he just ran a consistent lap and Vulcan screwed up a bunch. So if Vulcan would have ran the inside on that section right there, I guarantee you he would have had the spot. But yeah, that was just Hunter just ran a clean lap and Vulcan just got a little too risky, I guess. So for the final results, let's get this lined up here. Okay, so final results going to be Luke 1st, Detail 2nd, Slaunch 3rd, Fireball 4th, Real Deal 5th, Hunter 6th, Vulcan 7th, Phil 8th, and Jared 9th. So at least we had a pretty exciting 6th place battle.